What up, YouTube? Timus here. Since I am doing my reviews for Christmas films, here is my review for the 1980s film, The Muppets Christmas Carol. Now, of course, this is like pretty much a updated version of the classic Charles Dickens tale. It got released all the way back in 1992, directed by Brian Henson, who's of course the son of the late great Jim Henson. He also directed that recent R-rated puppet comedy, Happy Time Murders. He did a pretty good job of that. But before he did that, he gave us The Muppets Christmas Carol. And, you know, here you got the great Gonzo the Great as Charles Dickens, with his friend Rizzo, who acts as narrator throughout the whole film. Sorry about that. Anyway, and so you have Ebenezer Scrooge, played by Michael Caine, who is this cold-hearted and bad-tempered and selfish moneylender who does not really share the merriment of Christmas. And Scrooge ends up rejecting his nephew Fred's invitation to Christmas dinner, and he ends up dismissing these two gentlemen collecting money for charity, and tosses a ref at a Carol sing Bing Bunny here. And his local employee is Bob Cratchit, who is portrayed by Kermit the Frog. And so, like, the other bookkeepers request to have Christmas Day off, since there will be, no business for Scrooge on that day. But Scrooge is a bit, he's pretty much Scrooge. You know what you're getting with this. And so you got the business partners, Jacob and Robert Morley. Both are portrayed by Stelter and Wardorf. And so at 1 o'clock midnight, Scrooge is visited by the childlike ghost of Christmas past, who takes him back in time to his childhood and early adult life, with Dickens and Rizzo hatching a riot as well. And they end up visiting his lonely days. They end up pretty much visiting folks like Foswig, who's of course Fozzie Bear, who owns a rubber chicken factory. Scrooge also ends up taking pay on Bob's ill son, Tiny Tim, who's portrayed by Robin the Frog. You also got Miss Piggy is in this, who portrays the role of Mrs. Cratchit. So of course they're married and all. Anyway, the Christmas Carol one. Of course, Muppets Christmas Carol got a bit in the news recent because Lost Muppet Christmas Carol songs ended up being rediscovered and all. And it had some really good songs like Overturn, Room of Your Heart, Scrooge. You got some really good iconic songs here. It's the Muppets. You know what you're getting with a Muppet movie. I mean, it's always there has been some really cool iconic literary adaptations of Charles Dickens' The Christmas Carol, where you talk about the Bill Murray classic Scrooge film, where you talk about Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol. Muppets Christmas Carol is definitely up there. It's terrific. It's really cute, funny. And Michael Caine as Scrooge was perfect casting right there. You got some, really iconic, Muppet characters from Kermit the Frog, to Miss Piggy, to Gonzo. It's a really fun, cute one. I mean, Caine, of course, ended up becoming many of the human actors who have, worked with the Muppets over the years. Obviously, the earliest one was Orson Welles in the Muppet movie. I mean, there's been some really great Muppet movies over the years, whether it's the classic 1978 Muppet movie or the recent 2011 Muppets. I mean, Muppets Christmas Carol is definitely up there. It's really awesome. Of course, sorry about that. Of course, it takes place in 19th century London, so it does not really take place in modern time or anything. But it's a really decent retelling of the classic Charles Dickens tale. It's of course from Disney, so you know where you're getting it with a Disney film like this. I mean, if you guys have not really seen Muppet Christmas Carol yet, give it a shot. It's a really it's a great one. I mean, of course, Ebenezer Scrooge ends up learning to pretty much love himself, like love Christmas and stuff like that. He ends up having a nice heart towards down the line. But yeah, I mean, and not to mention the Muppet Christmas Carol actually got released in 1992, and the reviews for this was pretty good. It has like 76% Rotten Tomatoes, and the box office was, let me see how much it made. It made about 27.2 million. Not so bad. But anyway, let me leave you guys. Have you ever seen the Muppets Christmas Carol? If so, what you thought of it? Were you ever a fan of it? Were you not a fan of it? What some of your favorite parts, moments, etc.? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Steven signing off.